Hello and welcome. In this particular live session here, we're going to go ahead and create some viral videos. So let's get straight to it. Let me share the screen with you. Right, I'm actually going to share the entire screen. Um, all right, so let's get to it. First of all, I'd like to show you some proof that this system actually does work. And in that regard, I have a couple of channels that I went and built. Now, my goal for them was to monetize them as quickly as possible during a month, but I've accomplished a pretty good challenge. So I started about 8 channels with this strategy. One is this one here that got around 9,590 subscribers, 7,050 subscribers, 4,890, 2,190, 3,150, 5,810, and I have a couple more that also got pretty much a decent amount of subscribers, all using the strategy that if you stick around, I'm going to watch you how that is done in this particular live session here. This one, for instance, has 3,797. I have another one. By the way, YouTube channels is kind of my gig, but this is a channel I started using Grok AI, ChatGPT, and CapCut, and it works. Right? I even taught my brother this, and he created the channel that I think now at this point he has like 1,000 subscribers, but he's quite lazy. He's not really posting any videos at all. I think he's posted maybe 15 or 16 videos in total. So 3,400 on this one. So overall, I think maybe above 50,000 subscribers. That's safe to say that over all these channels or across all these channels, that might be the number. Now let me show you some pretty much some numbers. So here is examples, and of course, you know, here all across my feed, you can see a lot of videos, and these are some of the videos I'm going to teach you how to create. We're going to try to avoid the Cristiano Ronaldo stuff and the players. Now, what I do is I show players as kind of like Ronaldo is kind of like the hero that saves the day and kind of saves animals and so on and so forth. And that's kind of my strategy, and as well as the strategy for so many other people that were able to go viral with this. But here, for example, you can see this is a clear example of a video that has the potential of going viral. A black lion chasing this warthog, and you can see that 3.9, which in terms of how much money that can earn, in case a channel is monetized, is anywhere between 200 to 400 bucks, and it can be more as the channel grows. Now, and of course, you can see that some people can pretty much have managed to really generate, you know, astonishing numbers like 15 million views, which basically is equal to about anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000+ in terms of how much this video have earned. And you know, that's kind of crazy, right? And of course, this is possible using stuff that I'm going to be teaching you from this day forward. So first and foremost, let me just go to the YouTube Studio. I'm just gonna show the data of this particular channel. Then I'm gonna switch to Instagram because I want to show you that these videos work both here and on Instagram as well. So you can manage to grow on Instagram, get millions of views on Instagram as well with this. So if I check the analytics, now here, of course, let me check all or lifetime. 3.9, not so bad. 3.9. All right, now let me switch to Instagram pretty quickly here before we get into the meat of this, because I want to make this quick. Now already we're at 16,600 followers on Instagram. That really didn't take rocket science to get there. And you can see a lot of videos have been posted here. To be precise, I'm posting about 2 videos a day. We've got 89 right now, and of course we could grow better over time, but I want to show you some of my biggest and the highest performing videos. 4.5 million views here, 1.2 million. All right, what else? 2.8 million, 1.7 million, 500,000, you know, some 200,000, so on and so forth. 1.8 million views, 426,000, 495,000, you could say 500K, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of videos here that have been quite successful. and that tells you that this is more than enough to prove that this system actually works. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to teach you as much as possible so that you can avoid any trouble. I don't encourage you to do what I do, which basically is using players' faces and creating deep fakes. I would recommend just creating random stories, and we're going to start with that. So first and foremost, I think we need to get back right here. Okay, so yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an example of a video that is viral. I think I kind of saw one that was doing well over here. Okay, so we have a bunch of videos. I think I'm just going to go right off the bat, and I'm going to pick one that I think is going to work according to my experience. And well, it would have to do with some animal or somebody that is basically stuck in a particular situation. So first and foremost, we're going to go to grok.com, right? That is the website that you need to go to. Then basically right here in Grok. Now, by the way, you can use Grok for free if you don't have enough to pay for it as of now. And they allow you to generate a pretty much decent amount of videos using Grok. So what I'll be doing, just checking if it's still sharing, which is good. Okay, so it's sharing. All right. And here, in terms of Grok, because what we're doing is we're creating shorts, all right? Shorts that can go viral. I would go for video in terms of the what I'm trying to generate. And I'm going to go with a 2 by 3 inches because that is the closest to a YouTube Shorts or a TikTok video format. All right. So, just for reference, a TikTok video, YouTube Short, Instagram Reel, and Facebook Reels. And by the way, Facebook Reels is a thing, it does exist. Okay. All of these videos have one format or one size, which is 9 by 16. In terms of pixels, that's 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. That is 1080 in the width, 1920 in terms of the height. Now, Grok doesn't allow us to generate a 9 by 16 video, but it does allow us to generate a 2 by 3, which is quite close. And of course, after that, what we can do is simply we can pretty much make that a little bigger. Now that will lose just a little bit of the video itself, but that's not a big deal because you're not going to lose most of the details. So what I'm going to start with is, let's think of a scenario. Okay, let's think of a cat, a poor little cat, white fluffy cat that has been stuck. All right, has been stuck on or in a serpent's grasp. Let's say a serpent has grasped the particular cat. Why I went with cat here is because cat is something people love. And what we're trying to do is during that first 2 to 3 seconds, that is the most important part. We want to grab people's attention. Okay. We want to grab people's attention to the fullest. We want to make sure that people engage with us. And so you can achieve this by making sure that the beginning of the video is actually something tragic or something that really gets people in there, engaged emotionally in the video. Now, of course, I have a bunch of videos that have succeeded in my case. But in here, we're going to take an example of a creator's video, and to avoid we're going to make sure I pause this for a second to pause the music because I'm not allowed to play the music if it contains any music, which a lot of these videos don't contain music, okay? But for the videos that do contain music, they can perform or outperform videos that don't have music. Now here I see that there's just a bunch of videos here that are pretty much viral. Of course, I'm gonna where I'm gonna show you how to create a bunch of these videos. Let's just watch this. So the elephant was pretty much playing right here. And you can tell this was generated with Grok. And it was bitten by a snake. By the way, that snake is not really venomous, but anyways. And then the elephant came to this tribal guy sitting with his black lion. And then it seems like the elephant is actually asking for some help. So the guy jumped on top of the elephant. He's running with his lion, a pet, you could say, and they're checking on the elephant, the baby elephant. We're at 39 seconds right now. And I mean, you can make this more than 1 minute if you're not using music that's copyrighted. Let me pause. If you're using music that's copyrighted, make sure that your video is 60 seconds or less. Actually, less than 60 seconds. It would be preferable if it's 59 seconds. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. You can use a lot of music, most of the music that is pretty much popular, like funk music, Brazilian funk music. But the issue arises when the video is more than 1 minute and you are using that copyrighted material. YouTube is actually not going to play your video, right? They're going to keep it published, but they're not going to show it to anybody because that's called copyright. But there is something you can do to not trick YouTube, but it falls under what we call shorts policy. And shorts policy allows you to use these music sounds as long as your video is not more than 59 seconds or not more than 60 seconds, but it is 59 seconds actually. Okay. Now, this guy here, I can get away with playing the sound of his video because he's keeping the original sounds from the videos generated by Grok. So therefore, he can run away with it. He can get away with making his video more than 1 minute because his sounds is not copyrighted. It's actually AI generated, so he owns the right to it, especially if he has a Grok, Super Grok license, which allows him commercial license for all that he creates. Now, right, so I can just play the rest of it. I can't hear anything. I'm using my microphone as all right. So as you can see, that's a pretty interesting story. Not bad right there. And if we check this guy's channel, you can notice. I mean, I checked this guy's channel just about 2 days ago, and this guy had about 315,000. So in just about 2 days, this guy has gained about 100,000 subscribers. So that should give you some hopes and should motivate you. 339 million views. I'm pretty sure that this channel is monetized, and most of the videos that he's releasing are getting millions of views. And it would be preferable if you release one video per day or two videos per day at most. And you can see that this guy has been able to publish 173 videos. How much that would amount to money, or how much money that would amount to if we consider that this guy is monetized, 339 million views, that could possibly be very well around 30K, all right, that this guy has made. And we can check his oldest video. Oldest videos was not doing well because he was not doing story videos, all right? But the moment he started to do story videos is when he really went viral, first with this particular video here. Let's play this one because there's lessons to learn here. There's a giant anaconda wrapped around this particular element. You can do pretty much, just be patient. I'll teach you how to create one video in a particular, let's say, module. And you can see here the elephant went looking for help. Not pretty difficult stuff. Might seem difficult, but with the proper technique, we'll learn how to do this. Now there's this guy, he's coming to help. And you can see that the elephant is still wrapped, or the anaconda is still wrapped around the elephant. Let's see what this guy has to do. This guy brought an actual car, and he's pulling the anaconda out of the elephant. And so that is particularly what he did to save the elephant, right? You can see he's still struggling, and then he's pretty much applying some bandages right there to kind of make it seem like he's healing the elephant. And I think that most should be able to understand it. You can see that the elephant is standing and walking away as the guy is observing. And that's not really particularly difficult to guess why this video has went viral. So now, following in their footsteps, let's go ahead and create something interesting. Okay. So first and foremost, we need a start frame. A start frame is the most important part, and we're going to make it as emotional as possible. So here in Grok, as I said, make sure you select video. Aspect ratio here 2:3. Now we don't need to attach anything. We can just type. And then we're going to say photo realistic 8K video. Photorealistic 8K is to make sure the quality is 8K, incredible quality, and also photorealistic to look real, kind of like real footage. And then what we're going to type is of a fluffy, white, cute cat being strangled. Well, I think strangled is a pretty harsh word. I hope that YouTube don't take it too serious there. Or we could say maybe being, or an anaconda is wrapped around a cat. But anyways, by an anaconda or a huge black and yellow anaconda in the savannah at daytime. It's pretty much, it's, let's just say it's morning time. The cat cannot escape the anaconda's grasp. Okay, and I can add their emotional scene, and I can also add something such as no music. No music, meaning just sound effects. And I can also add that comment, just sound effects. Sound effects like the cat's meow and so on and so forth. So if we hit the send command, now the best thing about Grok is that it can generate videos hyper fast. But I'm not fully interested in this video that Grok is going to generate because they always suck. Okay. What I'm interested with is if you scroll down just a little bit, you can see that Grok has kind of generated some images here. All right. Now that is pretty interesting. It's actually fantastically interesting. So this particular, or these particular images right here are going to be our starting frame. And you can see that they're all looking realistic. And I think I'm going to pick maybe this one right here. Okay, because the snake has his mouth open. The cat looks like it's struggling and it just looks pretty good. So if you click on this particular image, immediately it can start generating a video. So what we're about to do right now is we're going to go ahead and type something to describe our video. And we're going to say cat is being suffocated by a vicious anaconda. And of course, we're going to have a happy ending at the end. So we're going to make sure that this cat survives. We're going to make sure it escapes. All right. So don't worry about that part. So, all right. Okay. So as you can see, this is at 70+%. It really generates images hyper fast. All right. So now here's our video. This is a 5-second video. You can see the cat is kind of struggling right there and it's kind of being suffocated. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this particular video. Then we're going to go to the end of the video right here. There's an option which allows you to right click on the mouse or whatever you'd like to call it. And then you can copy the video frame, which allows you to copy the image, the last image. Then you can go to ChatGPT, start a new chat, and then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to input this image by pasting it, and I'm going to say that a cat is trying to escape the anaconda's grasp, but it cannot escape. Now, I want the next scene to be a small cat looking for some help. The baby cat is also white, and the video should show the small cat trying to uh, get a, or a zoo worker in Africa to help. The zoo worker should get out of his jeep and run with the small cat to help the struggling cat, or the struggling fluffy white cat. All right. Now, while it's cooking right there, I'm going to go back to Grok because, and of course, again, I'm going to make sure I copy the video frame. Now we have our first video. Then I'm going to go to Imagine. I'm going to paste this particular image. And what I want to do is I simply want to generate a pretty cool uh, second video. So I'm going to say, now I cannot pause it from generating, but I can restart it. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say small baby white cat tries to help its mother but cannot, so it runs away to get some help. So I said small baby white cat. By the way, words have a big importance. When you say small cat, it doesn't understand that that's a cub. It will generate a video of a cat, a big cat, adult cat. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to generate a video of a small cat, right? To make it seem like that cat's a baby is trying to save it from the anaconda. And so as you can see here, this is what happened. This is pretty good. So you can see that there's a small cat right there. That's good as a second scene, okay? Now, we can elaborate on this. We can elaborate. All right, so we can elaborate. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the end of this. I'm going to copy the video frame, go back to Imagine, paste the image again. Then right here, I'm going to say, baby fluffy white cat tries to save its mama cat from the anaconda, but the anaconda is too vicious, and so the baby cat escapes away. Because what I want to do here is I want to make sure I show a frame where the cat departed, where it moved out of the frame, so that we can go back to this scene here where we show the cat, the little cat, going and seeking help, so that it makes sense, because you need to make sure that there's that buildup. You can't just show a scene where there's a cat being suffocated, then the next scene being the small cat getting help. You have to make sure there's context. Now you can see here, this one is good, right? So it seems like the cat has escaped. That's what we want. All right. So I'm going to use that last frame as my beginning frame to make sure I keep consistency. We need to remain consistent. So I'm going to copy this particular ChatGPT prompt. As you can see, I didn't really do anything there besides ask ChatGPT what I would like to do. Now, I could have specified that I'm using Grok, but because of the memory that ChatGPT has, it already knows I'm using Grok, okay? Because I'm using it in almost every single chat, so it knows it. But in your case, if you've not been using ChatGPT that much, make sure that you mention that you're using Grok for video generation, so that it understands that these prompts that it needs to make for you need to be tailor-made for Grok. Now, as you can see here, this one didn't really turn out pretty nice, okay? So instead of starting with this frame, I'm not going to start with it. I'm going to cut this prompt again, and I'm going to start with the prompt alone because I tried that frame and it didn't work out. Now here, I should say a tiny, fluffy, white baby cat. And I'm going to copy the prompt again, or cut it again, go back to Imagine, and paste it again. What I need is a white cat, not just any cat. Now, why is it here that the cat is pretty much in every video? All right, a tiny, fluffy white cat sprints, da da da, looking back in panic, urgently, da 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 da. All right, they're describing the zoo ranger and what they're wearing. All right, take gloves. Da, da, da. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wait. All right, I'm gonna wait for this. I think it's not so bad after all, and you can see that this is a pretty good footage, so I can use it. Now we're going to copy this footage. I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT. I'm gonna say, okay, keep your prompts short, remain consistent with the description of all characters in this small movie, and now write a prompt that shows the zoo worker who's a male trying to help mama cat. For context, images are attached to help you out make prompts consistent with our characters. So in other words, I'm just talking what I think in my brain into ChatGPT. So here, I'm gonna pause this for a second because I want to make sure that the zoo worker looks the same from before. So I'm gonna copy this video frame. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna paste it, and then I'm gonna go back to that initial picture of the cat, the mama cat, and I'm gonna paste it again. Now, by the way, we can listen to the sound. Let me sound. Okay, there is sound to this. Now we'll get to the CapCut part where we're gonna assemble everything. It's gonna be easy. All right. Now you can also add music, which is preferable. I'll show you one particular music in question that can get you lots of subscribers from my humble experience. Now I'm gonna copy this particular prompt and I'm gonna go back. No, let me just make sure I downloaded that footage. I need it. All right. Yes, I did. So go to the chat. I'm gonna paste. And now we're supposed to get to the climax where it shows the zoo worker trying to aid the cat. Now let me just wait. All right. Here, this is one of the worst things about ChatGPT is notice in this prompt it says same as before. Okay, and that is pure laziness because whomever created this tool, they programmed it not to be efficient but to be lazy. Okay, and so therefore, instead of it describing the guy, it says same as before. But how does Grok know what same as before means? Grok has no memory. So I'm going to say, do not be lazy. What is this BS with? And I'm going to copy this particular thing. And I'm going to say, you need to describe exactly how each character looks in each prompt with no laziness. All right, so I'll make it clear there to ChatGPT that I'm not going to take the BS of same as before or whatever, because then you run the risk of your characters looking different in every single image or every single frame, which is going to make people lose focus, and they're going to think, this story doesn't add up. There's a character in every frame. It's not consistent. There's not a consistent character. The character is not consistent, so therefore they're not going to like it. Now here, as you can see, we have a couple of images that can be useful, but I'm going to wait for Grok's video itself. Now you can either wait for Grok's video to generate, or you can take some of these, click on them, and then you can pretty much type exactly the same exact prompt. Now you can see over here that this is a pretty good one, so I'll keep it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do pretty much exactly like that elephant example where he put the hook or he attached the hook to the snake and then to the car and then he started to run the car back. Now here I'm gonna say he attached the hook to the snake, then went back and quickly started his Jeep and drove backwards to pretty much rip the snake off of the mama cat using the Jeep because the hook is now connected to the Jeep. And I want to make sure I say remain consistent, no lazy BS. I don't want it to give me any of that BS that, I can't, so on, or same as before. Grok doesn't know what same as before means. All right, so I'm going to copy this last frame, go back over here, I'm going to paste it. Now, all right, ChatGPT is giving me the prompt in a fast amount of time, or was pretty fast. Now, the bigger the chat gets, the slower it gets, right? Just know this. The more you talk to this same chat every single day, the lesser or the slower it's going to get, and the more disappointing it's going to be. So always try to create new chats every once in a while, just to ensure that you pretty much don't. Now this one is not so good. I don't kind of like this the way it is. So what I'm going to say, I'm actually going to try it myself. I'm going to say the zookeeper attaches a hook to the snake and links the chain to his Jeep car and gets inside his Jeep. Now let's try it this way. This is my own prompt instead of ChatGPT's prompt. And let's see what this is going to be. All right. 68%. It shouldn't really be that much before it can generate the video. Now, if it takes a little longer than necessary to know that the scene might be a little too complex, so therefore it can take that much. So here, as you can see, there's a, he's attaching that to the Jeep and going back. But I don't like that cat that is in his Jeep, And also the way he entered the door is not so good. So I'm just gonna say links the chain to his Jeep. Okay, so let's take it step by step. First, he's gonna link the chain to his Jeep, and then once that's done, we can say he gets into the car and he runs the car forward or whatever, and then pulls the snake off the cat. Right, we can do that. I think that would be interesting. All right, so as you can see here, it's at 98%. All right, so let's go back. Well, links the chain is Jeep. Let's redo this. All right. Well, this one is not so bad, but I don't know why I didn't like it. Okay, now let's go back. I think I'm gonna have to run it back. Now you have to run it back for as much as possible to get the necessary sync. But there's no way around that. Or you could try something else, like he maybe has a needle, he injects the snake with a needle, then the snake goes limp, and then the cat is released. You can try whatever you need to make sure that you get the result. Right, but let's check this out. Hopefully this one is pretty good. So he actually pulls the entire snake. Well, and links the hook, actually the hook to his Jeep. All right, let's try this one instead. We want to make sure that we remain pretty much consistent. All right, so let's just wait a second. You should just attach the snake to his car. Now, I don't know why he's pulling the entire snake. So here's the thing. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to say, please, could you write a simple prompt where he attaches a hook to the snake and then links that hook with a chain to the back of his Jeep. Easy, right? Okay. Now, to help ChatGPT out, I'm going to start with this frame. I'm going to copy video frame, go back, paste. I think that that should give it a little bit more help. All right, let's see. I keep telling it I need smaller prompts, but it pretty much always generates these weird prompts. But let's try it. If it works, it works. Okay. Right. Of course, we always need to wait for a video before you can judge it. It took quite some time on this one. All right. You know what? I'm actually gonna just I don't know what to do in this case. All right, so instead of maybe the car, you can just say, well, the zookeeper pulls the snake off the cat and then throws the snake on the ground. Okay, throws the snake on the ground. I think that that is an easier animation, though in most other cases, what I've tried this animation myself, it works. But in this particular case, it didn't. It should be easy. You should just attach a chain to the snake, and then attach the same chain to the car. Then in the second frame, we can go and make it seem like he's going inside his car, pulling the snake off using force. But let's check this out. Let's see. All right, so he's pulled the snake off of the cat. But actually, instead of him throwing the snake, I'm just gonna say the zookeeper professionally. Actually, it's the zookeeper. I'm gonna say the zoo wrangler expertly and slowly pulls the snake off the struggling cat. And then once he has the snake in his grasp, then we can try something like maybe put the snake in a box or something like that. I was also thinking maybe he should take a gun, but that would be an animal cruelty. So maybe he puts it in the metal sleeve in the back of his Jeep, and then injects the cat with some medicine, and then we can wrap up. All right. Okay, so let's wait a second here. He's pulling the snake, pulls the snake off the struggling cat. And then we can maybe add something else. Then holds the snake in his arms expertly. There are people that know how to deal with snakes pretty much. They know how to hold them, and they're called wranglers. There's all kinds of wranglers. There's even shark wranglers, people that know how to expertly deal with sharks. In this case, this is a snake. And so therefore, let's see. All right, so as you can see here, I need to. Okay, so all right. That's great. That is very good. This one is very good. So I'll download it. Finally, we have one. All right. So I'm gonna copy the video frame. I'm gonna go back. Of course, I copied the end frame. I'm gonna paste it here, and then my prompt is gonna be simple. The zoo wrangler, and of course, to make sure that we remain consistent, the male zoo wrangler, 20s to 30s, thick brown leather gloves, but all right. And then here, I'm going to copy his description, the description of the guy, so that we make sure that he's pretty consistent. And then we say holds and throws the anaconda snake on the back of his Jeep Wrangler's metal snake cage. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to make it seem like this guy's expertly going to take the snake, get a hold of it, go to the back of his car. Let's imagine that in the back of his car there's a metal box, and he places it there for safety. Okay. And of course, from there we can build up on him going back to the cat, maybe taking some form of an injection, injecting the cat with a cure in case it has been bitten. Even though, as far as I know, anacondas are not venomous, but it's safe to maybe get a shot. All right, so I'm going to download this particular frame, and then I'm going to get to the end of it. I'm going to copy this particular video frame. I'm going to get back here, and I'm going to go back to ChatGPT so that I can copy the description of the male guy, the zoo worker. And I'm going to say, after pasting his description, injects the fluffy white cat with a green matter or a green liquid syringe to cure it. All right. So now here, this animation is quite bad. It's not good because what happens when you just paste an image into Grok, it goes ahead and generates the image without a prompt or a video without a prompt. So it just goes ahead and generates the video anyways. So what you need to do is, of course, if that video that it generates is good, well, you can keep it. But if it's not good, then you have to make sure that you edit it. And so that's what we're doing here. That's why they give you this custom option here to allow you to customize it. So now here you can see there's the kitten again, and then he injects it, and that's pretty good. So I can download this particular one. I think it's pretty good. And then I'll go to the end frame. I'll copy the video frame, and then I'll paste it right here. I'll go back, get that guy's description, paste it right here, and then I'll say he finished injecting the cat, then holds it in his arm and brings it back to its small, baby, fluffy, white cat cub. All right. And they lived happily ever after. All right. So, all right. So here again, it generated one without our consent, of course, because that's what it does. It just goes ahead and generates a video based off of an image. That's what it does. It will generate a video based off of an image, whether you want it or not. And then, of course, if you don't like it, you then customize. Now, I'm going to get a drink here. All right, so as you can see, the guy puts the cat next to its little kitten, which is pretty good. And then I'm going to copy this last video frame, making sure I downloaded this one. I don't think I did. Yeah, I need to download this. I've copied the frame. Now let's paste it. And then let's say, all right, go back to the description of the guy, of course. And we say, kneels down in affection for the cat mother and its cub. And then we say, and he holds a sign that says subscribe and share. Believe it or not, this is one of the crazy things you can do with Grok, is that you can ask it to make it seem like the guy is going to take a sign that says subscribe and share. That is very interesting because you need people to subscribe. You need people to subscribe. So in order for them to subscribe, you can add a call to action. And that is going to be our call to action. And we should just ask Grok to do it. It should be included inside of the prompt. So he goes down on the ground and he's basically affectionate to the cats, but at the same time, he takes a sign off his pocket or whatever that says subscribe and share. That's the ending of the video. So mission accomplished. Now I would have wished that we could have accomplished the video where he kind of like uses the car to pull the anaconda, but that part where he takes the anaconda himself is not so bad after all. Now usually I don't use random characters in my videos. I actually use Cristiano as the hero because I'm pretty much let's say I'm a fan of Cristiano. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm a fan. Okay, and of course, when people see Cristiano, that kind of can give the video more traction and encourage the video to be more viral, as I've seen in so many cases. Some videos have went and gotten 100, 200 million views just because Cristiano is in there. All right, and of course, AI generated Cristiano. But I've also seen cases where there's random characters and the video still gets 150, 60, 100 million views. So therefore, it's hugely possible. Now, this is our last frame. Now we're going to get to the meat of the subject, which is how you can make this into a video. Now we can close this, and I want you to go to Google, go to CapCut or search for CapCut. Now there are all kinds of courses out there. I also have some courses that teach about CapCut myself. If you're, by the way, if you're interested in our Discord community, you can join it for free. Go in the link in the description of this particular video. If you're also interested in our school community, which is a yearly membership where you get direct access to myself and some other creative people, you can go in the link in the description as well. But now, make sure you download CapCut. Now, once you download CapCut for a laptop, you should be able to open CapCut just like this. So I'm going to go open CapCut. But first and foremost, it would be great if you organized your work. So make sure that you go and create a new folder. Let's say you call this Man Saves Cat from Anaconda. Then you go to that particular folder which you've created and name a file. Name it B-roll. B-roll means video or video footage. Now I'm going to open another file explorer here, and I'll show you a trick where you can sort your videos out by date, which will give you an ease to deal with these videos and to make sure to know which one is first, which one is second. So I'm going to cut this, come back here, paste it, and then sort them by date modified. And this needs to be like this, 9:45 and ends at at 10:13, which means this is the first video, this is the second, third, fourth, so on and so forth. We have all videos. In total, we have 10. Then once you open CapCut, now by the way, I have CapCut Pro, but for what we're trying to achieve, you don't need CapCut Pro. You can use the free version of CapCut. It's all the same. Now I'm going to create a project. Now, once you've created the project, here's a simple hack. Go back to that folder of yours and start slowly. Drag the first part, paste it right about here. Now, once you paste it, it pastes pretty much perfectly. And then go back for the rest and paste it right about here. Now, usually what I do is I'll go ahead and make sure that I drag or select everything, all videos, and I usually right click and I extract the audio so that it is extracted from the video. I select all the audio. I click on either enter, or you can just hit this button here, delete, or you can right click and hit delete. All the same. I'm just going to click enter. It deletes it after selecting all. Make sure that your aspect ratio here is set to 9:16. Then make sure you select all of your videos at once, and then go here. You can see on the right hand side, you have access to transform. There's an option called scale. You need to scale this until it fits the screen. Then you can go to adjust, auto adjust, color correction. You can already see that this is looking much better. And because this is 1 minute, I want to make sure that I speed things up. So go to speed, making sure things are still selected. Add some speed. Now it's 55. I can make it a little more. Now 53, maybe a little more. 51 seems pretty good. Because this doesn't have any music, I'm going to go and grab a music from my desktop. I have a bunch of music sounds here. One of them is Amin, and it is actually one of the most popular music sounds when it comes to these emotional videos, because they kind of drive people to pretty much engage. It's a very sad music, but at the same time, very cool. Now we're going to have tutorials where we're going to create all sorts of videos. By the way, just get a glimpse of this. This is one video, 44 million. I can teach you how to do this in future videos or future lectures, let's say. And then here, let's say here, you see, check this one out. This is an elderly lady, and there's an anaconda wrapped around the lady, and it seems like two pit bulls are the ones that are going to save the anaconda, the lady. And you can see the people are flying with this, literally. This technique that I'm teaching you here today is not to be taken lightly. But if we look for Amin feed to Joni or Johnny, you can see 234 million views. This is the one I want you to get. You can either use a screen recording software to record the sound, or you can go to Google, search for video downloader, download the video, then extract the sound out of it, extract it exactly as I did with mine. Then you can place the sound here. Now this is the song. I'm not going to play it, by the way. And then I can go ahead and at the end of this, you can put this particular frame. You can move it however you like. And when you put it here, when you click on the music, there's an option here called delete right, which if you click it, it will delete everything that's on the right-hand side. And now your video is ready. Now, of course, I'm going to mute the sound because it's copyrighted for live. But when it comes to a video that's under 59 seconds or under 60 seconds, you can put this video music on your video on YouTube. It will fall under shorts policy, but it's not copyright. So they'll not give you a copyright strike or warning for it. Now I'm going to play this with no music, just so that you can check the overall work. And you can see how consistent this stuff is. There's a small little cat. It's trying to help its mom. Of course, it cannot, so it's going to escape. And then here we see the cat bringing some help. The help is the ranger. And the guy comes, tries, and then in the next one, he must hold the snake. And then he's holding the snake. Then he puts the snake in the cage. The cat goes and then comes back. He injects it with cure or anti poison, whatever, anti venom, and then puts it right there next to its child or its cub, and then takes a subscribe and share sign. And this is a video that has a potential to go viral, get you millions of views, right? And you've learned it here first. So once this is done, finito, make sure that you unmute the clip so that when you download this with the music. By the way, you don't need to use the first part of the music because this music sound is 4 minutes. If you want, you can listen to the music video and make sure that you only keep the part that you like to put in your music. So, assuming that you want to just pick this part here, you can cut whatever it's before it by clicking delete left, and then you can zoom out and you can take your music, place it back here, move the cursor here. You can click and then you can delete what's left, assuming that this is what you want to use as your music. Now, another interesting thing to do with music is to fade it in and to fade it out. And then you can go ahead and export. Actually, this is a video that I'm going to publish today. So, all right, 60 frames per second. I always kind of go with that when it comes to videos that have a lot of different videos because it's an assembly of multiple short videos. So I like to go with a high frame rate. Okay. Then pick whatever you'd like to export this to. I'm going to export it to. I'm thinking YouTube channels. Let's go to Ronaldo's World. I'm going to select this folder. I'm going to say Zoo Honda, and then you can export. Your video is going to be exported. After that, you can go ahead and preview it.